and I feel like I met that goal.
Yeah. When people say like, you know, people that haven't been to college, they say like, college a waste of money, it's a waste of time, this and that and this. What's your opinion, you know, with you being a college graduate as well as a HBCU alumni? What is your sense? What do you say to those people?
I do feel like college is a scam, but I feel like it's a scam worth taking. Like, I feel like everybody should experience college and see if it is for them. I wouldn't like push HBCU. I do push HBCUs, but it might not be for everybody. Like, that environment might not be for everybody. It might not be like an environment you can learn in. So, but I forgot the question. What you had asked? I had something else to say.
HBCUs and people, you know, doubting it.
Oh yeah. A lot of people say like HBCUs, like they a party school, but it's really what you make it. And you can party and get your education. Like, you can do both. You gotta have that mindset. You gotta have that grind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill it and I'm gonna go.
Okay, so let's get into, you know, all right, you went to college. Around what time did you start, you know, working on your book?
After I graduated. Immediately after I graduated.
Was it, you know, were you ever trying to work on something while you were in school and stuff like that?
Not outside of like schoolwork. And not outside of schoolwork because I didn't really have time for it. So this was my first project that was like for me. Like my own personal project. It ain't being graded. It's just something I'm doing for me.
And talk about this process behind this book that you got.
So the process behind writing my book was, first I had an idea, like, okay, how I want my book to be, what I want it to be about. Because I want to tell stories, but at the same time I want to just put my poetry out and write poetry. So I had to think of a title. I got my title together. Then I got my layout, like the stories, what type of poems I wanted to write about, like what type of stories I was willing to share, what type of information I was willing to put out there. Then I was like, fuck it ain't no point in writing no book about my life or anything about me if I ain't gonna be completely honest and transparent. So like I pulled out my rawest poetry, like just stuff I needed to put together, put it in my book. Then it took a couple of months for me to just, because I went over it every day, for me to just really get it together and what order I wanted to go and which topics I wanted to touch on. So I went over that process for about 6 months, then editing, like letting people read it, then reaching out to one of my friends so that she could illustrate like what I was. And my friend, she also a poet and an illustrator, so she was able to read my poetry and kind of like feel it. Like, I think poets understand each other quicker than people who don't write poetry when they reading it. So like she drew up the images. It took her time to do that. So overall, it was just like a 8 to 9 month process.
8 to 9 months. What did you do about distribution, and how did that come about?
So I published my book through Amazon. So basically, when you do it like that, you have to do all the work yourself, and then you do that after you submit the manuscript or whatever. They send you back copies. They proof it, all that. So basically, I order my books through them, and then sell them through my website. And they sell them through Amazon and on Kindle as well.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah. About, you know, how much do you think, like for the people that's out there that's, you know, want to start up a book and, you know what I'm saying, want to sell their own book, about how much do you say they need to save and invest?
I can't say because like it depends on how long they book gonna be, like if they're gonna include illustrations, what type of editing they're gonna need, if they're gonna create their own cover art.
Give them like a minimum.
I would say like then I don't know because then promote. Okay, I would say like 1,500. Yeah, I would say like 1,500 if you know like how to budget right.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah. What I mean, what are your plans on, you know what I mean, like in the future, like with this book and future project?
So my next project is turning my book into a magazine style format. So it's like a magazine full of poetry, but it also have like advertisement stories, interviews with professionals about certain career fields. And the magazine is only available in my self-care boxes, which will be releasing. Yeah, they'll be coming out March and this year. But they're gonna include like self-care essentials, facial masks, candles, all that type good stuff. And it's gonna be set up in 2 different categories. You can get a non-smoker box or a smoker box. And in the smoker box, you'll have the rolling trays and the cone papers, the raw papers, 100% organic. And in a non-smoker box, you'll have a journal and a notepad. A note pen.